Hey guys, my name is Mannequin. Welcome back to Mastering EDM with Logic Pro, and today I'm going to show you how to make a punchy synth. So this is basically, I've been talking about synth design and stuff, and I kind of want to show you how to make two different types of synthesizers, starting with a punchy synthesizer. So I'm going to pop open, don't know why that happened, sorry about that. So I'll pop open ES2 here, load up the usual analog saw initialized. And all I'm going to do up here is basically I'm going to start showing you just a couple options and ways that you could make a synth have like a plucky sound, or not necessarily a plucky sound, but just give it a sound that has punch. So the first and most obvious one is if you just have some sort of note progression here. I just turn the sustain all the way down so that it goes, you know what sustain does. After the attack, it starts to decay for a certain amount of time, and it decays until it gets to 0. That's why I turn the sustain down. So I'm just going to turn down the decay so it gets sharper and sharper. So it sounds very plucky, but let's say we wanted something long, but I didn't want to, but I still wanted to have a pluck. So now all I have to do is turn the sustain back up. And let me compare it here and show you what happens if you have it at full, vice turning it down just a little bit so you get more pluck. And you'll see that it gives it a lot more punch. So if you have it, basically instead of, it goes all the way up to the maximum volume, comes down a little bit, and then it just stays there. So what that does, basically, you get like this, it's kind of like pseudo compression. So it's almost like you're faking compression onto it. So that's one way. That's the most obvious way to get some pluck, or some punch rather. Now there's a couple other ways I want to talk about, and it kind of depends on what you're going for with your sound. So now there's another thing we could do. Right now, the way this preset is mapped up, if I turn down the cutoff all the way, what the second envelope here is going to be affecting the second cutoff here and adding to it. So it'll be the same general thing, but so you see that's plucky. And then I could do the same thing. So those are the two most obvious options, having the envelope for the volume and the envelope for the filter, just having them kind of open up all the way and then go down a little bit very quickly, so it kind of gets like this. It's like it's loud at first and it drops down. And it kind of sounds like you're doing it's like doing compression almost. So now the question is, what are some interesting techniques we could use to get more punch from? Because these are all fine and dandy, but what if you want to do something else that you don't really want to, like, you want to do something else with the volume, like you want to have it go fade all the way down, but you want it to be like this? Or let's see what I was going to do here. I don't have long enough notes. Here we go. I'll just do this. So you want that sound, but you want to add more punch to it. Now, there's a couple options. So first of all, we could change the oscillator start. So typically this is free. However, if you turn it to soft or hard, you'll get a click sound at the beginning. So you notice that one actually adds a actual pop, where if I turn it to soft, it's more punch, and free. So that it basically just adds more punch, and it's kind of it changes the way the oscillators start. So it's each of these. It changes the method how they start. And I'm going to turn up the voices here so I could have a lot of voices, and I could turn on unison too, just because I like unison. So now there's another thing we could do here. I'm going to keep this on free because I'm about to show you a often used but not often discussed technique to get a lot of punch for your synthesizers. So what you do is you get the pitch for one, if not all, of your oscillators here. So note that each one, 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3. So you could change the pitch individually. So but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the pitch 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to make it go up all the way to the maximum pitch, and I'm going to map it to the first envelope here, which is right there. So so it starts, I have the attack, so there's no attack, it's 0 milliseconds, so it shoots up to the maximum, and then it goes back down. So now normally it sounds like what you would expect to sound like this. But if you noticed, it has a lot more punch right off the bat, because it's shooting up really high and you get a kind of punch sound from that. So how can we use this without getting that weird dropping sound? It's actually rather easy. Just turn down the decay until it starts to just sound like a pluck. So how's that? Like compared to this? Apologies, I didn't realize it was clipping there. It's not that big of a deal, but so you see, with all the things I did here, basically we could get, let's see if I can do a comparison. Let me just now you will notice that if you do soft start and you have unison enabled, or you have multiple voices running, it'll actually change the tone of the synthesizer, because the various waveforms, they're basically out of phase, so they kind of overlap and create a different sound. So now I have 2 of these, and that's not what I wanted to hit, but whatever. So I want to open up this ES2. And then I'm just going to turn off the pitch that I changed here, change that back to free, and I'm going to set, I'm just going to make this so that it doesn't affect the cutoff at all. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. We'll just go like turn that off and just turn the cutoff back up. So the comparison between these two, let me just set this up really quick. Send that right there and that right there. Hold on. It's kind of hard to compare it if I have that that off here. So let me just turn this back to where it was. There we go. That's obviously not what I wanted. There we go. So you see there's a big difference between those two. So basically with the first one and the second one, the difference is the first one I have the oscillator start set to soft. This one is set at free, so it doesn't sound as punchy. And then this one also has the pitch change thing that I did here, which gives it a lot of pluck. And this one has it set to do nothing, so it's not, despite the fact that it's still actually mapped to do stuff, it's not affecting the pitch because we have that set to 0. So, and then the only other difference here, no, I think that's pretty much it, actually. Because I didn't do that, I kept the volume and the filter the same for both of them. So another thing to keep in mind is actually if you change the filters up, you can get a lot tighter if you make the filter a steeper filter. So it's 24 decibels per octave as opposed to just 12 that I have running through this one. And then adding resonance is a little bit of an option. Although typically resonance, what that'll do is that'll actually smooth it out. So you got to be careful. So it really, just those couple of things that you might not have known that really help you give a lot of punch to your synthesizer. So I said at the beginning of this video that I wanted to talk about two, and actually I'm going to cover that in my next video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually talk about in my next video how to make a really smooth synthesizer. So I kind of figured, getting a really punchy synthesizer and a really smooth one is the two more difficult things to do, because everything other than that is just kind of, is it what type of waveform are you using? What type of modulation are you using? Are you making it kind of sweep up and down? Are you just trying to make it static? Or, just most of the other stuff is just kind of stylistic. But learning, generally how to make something punchy or how to make something smooth is kind of something that that requires a little bit more, knowing how to do it, as opposed to just experimenting around and changing something randomly to see if it gets a sound that you like. So that's it for this video. Like it if you like it, and comment if you have any questions or suggestions below, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. But like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.